to the Monica Brant Show. I am Monica, and I'm here with Roxy Thunder.
Hello
my
again.
Co-host today. Good to have you, Roxy. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Now, you have introduced me just now to this amazing, beautiful lady sitting
Yes.
here. We've got Jasmine Baker. She is the first IFBB Wellness Pro from New Zealand.
Yeah.
How exciting to be the first.
It's honestly crazy. It's been a wild ride. It's only been my first year competing as a pro, so it's to make it to the Olympia stage. It's just been absolutely unreal, and it's a dream come true for sure. It's my fourth show ever, so I'm still very fresh in the sport. So to actually be here amongst the best in the world I'm just so grateful for the experience. So thank you for having me on today.
I'm so excited, Roxy. Thanks for bringing her in. You're finding all the treasured people to get to talk to.
Yes,
so
when I
fun.
first met her, I was like, she needs to be on your show, and she needs to share her story as well.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about your background and what led you to wellness.
Yeah, so I actually started out training about 7 years ago in the powerlifting category, and then I transitioned into bodybuilding about 3-4 years ago, training for the figure division because wellness wasn't actually around then. And then as soon as wellness came around, I knew that was for me. I've always loved the look. I've always followed the Brazilians hard out on social media, and it's just such a beautiful feminine look, and I knew I had to get amongst it. So I did my first competitive season back in 2021, where I won my pro card, my first show, and then obviously I became a pro, and I did my pro season this year. So I did the Tampa Pro, the Texas Pro, and the Tupelo Pro, which is where I won my Olympia qualification for this year. So it's been a wild ride. Definitely still a newbie in the sport as such. It's only my second year. So what we've kind of learnt from this Olympia prep is a lot of things. So it's been a massive
Right?
learning experience, and it's been amazing. Yeah.
Now, did you get to train as a potentially like a power lifter for this with some of the stuff that you did with powerlifting? Were you able to, because of where wellness is?
Definitely. So I still incorporate a lot of kind of strength compounding movements. I love training that way. It's my style. I like getting under heavy weights, and that's how you grow the big dense legs too, which is what wellness is all about. So it actually intertwined together really good. So yeah.
Yes, and I was thinking of that. It's like as a wellness athlete compared to, let's say, a bikini athlete, we really have to work those legs.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think like powerlifting is really a good foundation for it.
Definitely. It teaches you to learn how to respect the weights and train with intensity, and it's a really good base to have.
What are your favorite leg exercises that maybe like, how about one or two that are kind of standard, and then one or two maybe that are like a interesting take on a movement that maybe you do?
Yeah, so I really love any kind of squatting movement. Like I said before, I love getting under heavy weight. So anything like squatting, I love a hip thrust as well, mainly a machine hip thrust, but kind of a unusual exercise, at least from where we're from, is a hyperextension on the Smith machine. That exercise is amazing for the upper glutes, and it's something that I started incorporating into my training protocols this year, and it feels so good. So definitely be one of my favorites for sure.
I am taking notes on that. I'm taking notes.
Okay, now did you travel from New Zealand to the States every time you competed?
Yes.
You're still living there?
Yeah, so I still live in New Zealand, so we have to travel about 15 hours to get here at least, so it is a bit of a journey, but it's worth it 100%. So yeah.
Now your fiance is here.
Yes.
And he told me he was also your coach.
Yeah.
So how long has he been coaching you, and how long have y'all been engaged? And congratulations.
Thank you. We actually got engaged this year, so I just turned 23 in August, so we got engaged a few weeks before that, so very freshly kind of newly engaged, which is awesome. But he's been coaching me ever since pretty much we started dating. So for the last seven years, he's been by my side, helping me out with dieting and training, and I did do my own training for a while there as well. And he's been an awesome coach, an awesome fiance, and I wouldn't be where I am today without him. So it's
and
amazing.
I can tell he competes as well.
Yes, so he's a pro as well. So he's yet to do his pro debut, but we're thinking of next year him doing his 212 debut. But he won his pro card last year in New Zealand. So
and I did see on your Instagram, it's Mr. and Miss New Zealand.
Yep. So we've both won the Miss New Zealand title and the Miss New Zealand title. So we've both got that, which is really cool. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so fun. Wow. And how long has he been how long has he been competing?
He's been competing. He's been training for about 17 years now, competing for probably about 10 years of that.
Okay.
So he did take a long off-season break to just really put on some good size. So he stepped on stage after 5-year off-season last year. So yeah, he wanted to just take the time away to jump back on stage, being ready to be a pro, which he's at now. So yeah, next year it should be.
Is the industry in New Zealand large?
No, it's a very, very small community. There's a lot of health and fitness involved in New Zealand, but the actual bodybuilding community is tiny. So it's to make it to the Olympia stage is quite rare from our country, and being the first wellness as well is just amazing.
It's like you're a national hero.
Yeah.
National
history making.
superhero.
Yeah.
Has there been any kind of government activity, meaning like any officials, like you said,
Government
reaching
support
out
or
that are supporting what you're
anything?
doing?
Not yet. So we've got our NZIFBB president. He's quite supportive with all of this. But yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
She'll have the key to the country soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what else are you okay, I know this sport takes up everything, but are there any other things that you like to do, any hobbies that you have that when you have free, if you have and when you have free time?
I definitely don't have free time. So I'm actually a full-time manager as well. So I work a 9-to-5 job along with bodybuilding, which takes up the rest of my days. So
I like a corporate job.
Yeah. So I run a management team. So yeah, I'm in the retail industry. So I manage a few different departments, which is pretty hard to deal with sometimes during prep when you're hungry and tired, when you're kind of managing people.
Relate to that.
Yeah. But it just shows that it can be done, like you can, if you prioritize it, if you love what you're doing, you will always make it work. And I've been working a 9-to-5 since I started working, and I've made it to the Olympia stage doing that. So yeah.
Do you think that you'll eventually want to have an opportunity to break free from that corporate world and just do this and have some other, maybe you and your husband, when y'all are married, will have some other business opportunities that will come?
So we, apart from the corporate job and also bodybuilding, we are coaches as well on the side. So we are going to be moving into that full time to really get to that next level to where I need to be. I think I need to take myself out of those corporate roles and really just put the focus in the areas that I need.
Wow.
I would love to see more athletes from New Zealand, and it would be amazing to have them all be coached by you.
Yeah, be really cool.
I mean, you can just kind of see where that could all go for you guys, right? Like the big picture. It's just starting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just starting. Now, can you see, let's see, I've been in the industry for almost 30 years. So can you fast forward? My first were 1991, and then I turned pro in 95.
Yeah.
First Fitness Olympia in 95. So we have something in common outside of all of this. Is I was the first IFBB Fitness awarded fitness.
Wow.
IFBB of Fitness awarded female.
Yeah. Wow.
So you were the first
crazy.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
So that's super fun. So at that time, I never dreamed or thought that in 30 years I'd still be around.
Yeah.
Like it's, not like
Yeah.
die or something.
Yeah.
But in the industry,
industry.
and maybe being relevant and having long-term friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting to think 30 years from now for you. Like
That's crazy.
where can this go? How exciting. Very
Exactly.
exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's so many more opportunities now.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Roxy, what else are we going to ask her?
Yeah, so I was wondering too, like, what about New Zealand athletes you think would, like, what's the difference, or what's so special about New Zealand athletes you think that we could be brought to, like, the Olympia?
I think in New Zealand, because our community is so small and we are quite limited with access to equipment and everything else, we are a bit behind in the bodybuilding community and the fitness industry. So I think coming over here, it's really opened our eyes up as to what is actually out there and how being in New Zealand is actually quite restricting in a way when you're a bodybuilder. So I think there's definitely things that us as New Zealanders need to take away from
So you can
from
take
here.
more back. You're going to have all the secret tools and access to all things. And I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be super fun. And you're going to be exploding over there soon.
Yeah, no, definitely.
If not already, but even more so.
Yeah. It's only up from here. Yeah.
And family, do you have a big family? Are they excited about what you're doing?
Yeah, so my mum and stepdad, they actually came and watched as well. So they flew from New Zealand to come over. But yeah, I've got a really big family that's really supportive as well, and I wouldn't be where I am without them either. So I've got a really good network around me, which
so
you need in
important.
bodybuilding.
Yes.
It's it can be quite an individual sport, but you don't actually realize how much of a team you need to actually be at your best. So It's not an individual sport in any way. Yeah, it's
Well, you know, when I got started, again, I was 20. How old are you?
23.
Okay, I was 20. My
Yeah.
first show was 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I knew nothing about the industry. I didn't know about the magazines. I didn't know about competing. And of course, it was just bodybuilding. But when I first kind of started dipping my toes in it, my family was like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know, and there wasn't no social media at all.
Yeah.
So all they knew was like I asked my mom about going to the gym when I was a senior in high school, and my mom said, you're never allowed in the gym. That's where men pick up girls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, that was
Yeah.
and my mom told me I wasn't allowed to wear bikinis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like,
Look what happened.
Yeah.
sorry, Mom.
Exactly.
No, but I mean, now she gets it. But
Yeah.
in the beginning,
Yeah.
and like my
Yeah.
first cover came out, I had a leotard on, although you couldn't see the back
Yeah.
of
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
It was 1994. And it was on Muscle and Fitness, and she was so upset because you don't have any pants on. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it's
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
covered, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's just kind of funny how there's so much more now that
Exactly.
families can say, okay, this is what you're doing, and I
Yeah.
see it, and it's a international.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And
you
it's
know,
an
there's
actual
opportunity,
sport,
you
and
know,
it's
it's
an
not-
actual sport.
Yes.
It's not just like, what is this
Yeah, yeah.
bodybuilding thing?
Yes.
Where do you fit into bodybuilding?
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
Not a bodybuilder, but
Yeah.
fun. So
Love
fun
it.
to hear all of these good stories, and that's one of the things that this Olympia competition and expo does is it brings in so many people from the past, the current, the people that want to come in and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And from all over the
From
world.
all over the
Exactly.
world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just really exciting to be in, especially being the 60th anniversary. I don't know, I was talking to one of the guys yesterday, it's been to a lot of them. This is my 24th Olympia.
Yeah.
And one was, I don't know, he's done like 30 or something. And we're like, just thinking 40 years, you know, or when it's going to be the 100th. So that was like
Exactly.
the 100th
Yeah.
anniversary is 40 years from now. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, you know, I'll be in my 90s, so.
She'll be around.
Yes.
She'll be here hosting the
Yeah.
show. Remember when?
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
thank you.
for sharing all of your story,
Yeah.
and congratulations
Thank you.
on
Yeah.
all of it. It sounds
Yeah.
like you've got a great path in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful lady.
She looked
Thank you.
amazing on stage.
Right?
I saw her
oh.
on stage. It's like I can't wait to even see her like next year. You know,
Next year we'll be
again.
bringing a better package, definitely. Yeah, this prep has been a very long one.
Well,
It's been about 8.5 months of prep.
Girl,
so
you're
it's-
only 23.
Exactly,
So
I still
listen,
got time.
This body keeps getting better
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah,
It just keeps getting better.
yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure.
especially when we don't compromise what we feel is right for ourselves, and we stay true to what we want and what
Yeah.
we know is good for us.
Yeah.
Like, the sky's the limit.
I wish
Definitely.
I knew this when I was 23. You know, I wish I got into bodybuilding at your age, but
Yeah.
started a little too late.
Never too late.
Exactly,
Because, hey,
never.
you've got your own great story too, right? Like, it's never too late. Well, it's so
Exactly.
awesome. So thank you for joining us here. Thank you, Roxy, for bringing her in. I can always count on you for bringing in the good athletes and the good people to interview. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. And one more time, your Instagram. I know we'll have it in the description, but how do people find you?
So djl.procoaching is where you'll find us on Instagram.
Okay, well, we'll make sure we put in the link. New Zealand, if you're in New Zealand, come find her and her husband-to-be, Dean. Get some training in. All right, guys, thanks for joining the Monica Brant Show here.
Thank
we'll be
you.
back more with more of the 60th anniversary Mr. Olympia.
StemRegen is professionally formulated for athletes for enhanced recovery, improved microcirculation, and smart cellular signaling. I attribute being an athlete to all of the years of this incredible journey I've had in the health and fitness industry. I'm Monica Brant, 30-year health educator and encourager. Having added StemRegen into my program for the last year, I've been able to maintain the level of intense exercise that I demand on myself. Thanks to StemRegen, I am unleashing my regenerative potential.